All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Denver Broncos. We're about a week away from the start of the regular season, and I got to say, I'm really excited about this Denver Broncos squad. I think, all in all, man, the Sean Payton addition is absolutely huge. It's absolutely critical, but this is a healthier team. They lost 8 games by 1 score this past season. All the dysfunctionality going on with the coaching position. I get it. There are some concerns. There's some hesitations with Denver for this upcoming season. But I think Russell Wilson, I think the Denver Broncos in general, I think they looked really sharp in preseason, especially that preseason finale. But we have to keep in mind, Sean Payton teams historically do better in the second half. One thing I do love about the Denver Broncos is their first couple of weeks are very team friendly, and you get Kansas City out of the way in the first half of the season. So, if Denver's 4-4 at their bye, that's perfectly fine to me. It's perfectly fine to me. And we're going to talk in tonight's video why this Denver team is a lot better than people are giving them credit for. Now, it's going to come down to Russell Wilson. I get some of the concerns. People are concerned about offensive line depth, wide receiver depth, defensive line depth. I get it. But at the end of the day, it's a quarterback-driven league. It's an offensive-driven league at this current point. We've talked about it time and time again on this channel. Offense right now is winning championships. It's not defense. And we know with Denver Broncos defense, they have a fully capable Super Bowl or deep playoff run defense, right? So it's going to come down to Russ and this offense. But number one, Russ lost weight, and I think he looks good. I am not worried about future Hall of Famer Russell Wilson. One thing that's heavily in Russ's favor, especially with the injury to Jerry Jeudy and the very unfortunate, done for season injury to Tim Patrick, is the running back room. Now, we've heard, as they should, especially with the torn ACL, Javonte Williams is going to be eased into his role this upcoming season. That's why you picked up Samaje Perine. We've hyped Samaje up all offseason, but it doesn't end just there. They also have a guy who had a phenomenal camp, a phenomenal preseason in Jaleel McLaughlin. But Samaje Perine, keep in mind, in the AFC Championship game for the Cincinnati Bengals this past season, he was the guy. He was the go-to guy. He was the guy they were relying on and leaning on in that pivotal AFC Championship game. When Joe Mixon went down with that concussion halfway through the season, Samaje came in there and was a stud. 100 receiving yards, 100 rushing yards, 50-plus receiving yards. Samaje Perine is the perfect backup running back to have to ease Javonte Williams in. Especially with that injury, like we said, we want Javonte healthy, fully healthy the whole season, because they have a 3-headed monster at running back with Samaje and Jaleel right behind him. But I say, let Jaleel go, man. The dude killed it in preseason. He killed it in training camp. Let's ride that momentum and let's see what we have there. But we've all heard the saying, what's a quarterback's best friend? It's the running back room. And the Denver Broncos have 3 fully capable running backs. And there's a lot of pop there with new addition, Jaleel McLaughlin. But Javonte Williams, I think he's poised in the first month of the season to just kind of be this, X-factor playmaker, third down, red zone guy. Javonte Williams, phenomenal rookie season. Obviously, we only saw him play 40 games this past season. It's not going to start right away. We've already heard Sean Payton. We've already heard the Broncos say that. And Samaje is the perfect running back to ease Javonte back. The wide receiver room, once Jerry Jeudy comes back, and that's one thing with the schedule. Let's say he didn't go on the IR. So let's say he comes back after that Bears game. Denver could be 3-1. They could beat Vegas, Washington, maybe lose to Miami, beat Chicago. You get Jerry Jeudy back healthy, 3-1. You're 3-1. That's when you got the Jets, Kansas City, Green Bay, Kansas City. Denver could be 5-3 heading into their bye week, which for Denver, considering the way last season went, lost 8 games by 1 score. That's a huge ass deal. And then I do want to say, I love Cortland Sutton. Marvin Mims Jr., keep in mind, Sean Payton historically has an extremely impressive track record with rookie wide receivers. This was Sean Payton's first addition as a Denver Bronco, Marvin Mims Jr. And we saw it. We saw it in preseason. We saw it in training camp. He is a playmaker. This guy's going to have some big-time plays. He averaged over 20 yards per catch in his final season. In his whole collegiate career at Oklahoma, he averaged over 20 yards per catch. So offensive line-wise, I got my left tackle back. I got my right tackle, something Denver's really struggled with in recent years. yes, a lot of it's going to come down to health, but you can say that about just about every team. Considering how injured Denver was last season, we go to the law of balances here. Hopefully they have an extremely healthy season. So defensively, new DC coming in, former Broncos coach. Obviously, some people have some question marks there. At the end of the day, I think Denver defensively is still very talented. There are some question marks on the defensive line. They lost Tremont Jones. They pick up Zach Allen. At the end of the day, I think it's a very efficient defense. I think they're a very efficient defense. And that was pinpointed when they picked up Zach Allen after losing Tremont Jones. But there's some real sneaky talent on this defensive side. We got rookie Drew Sanders, right? Alex Singleton. What do you have? 163 tackles last season. Nick Bonito. Entering year 2, Nick Bonito in his last season at Oklahoma, 15 tackles for loss, 7 total sacks. Drew Sanders in his final year at Arkansas, 103 tackles, 13 and a half tackles for loss, 9 and a half sacks. Their linebacker room is really sexy. I got Jewel, I got Singleton, 100-plus tacklers right there. I got Benito on my edge. I got Drew Sanders, who really showed me a lot, especially once again, the reoccurring theme, that preseason finale game, ride that momentum, baby. Let's see what Drew Sanders has. A lot of hype coming on with him, and he's a hard hitter. He's going to hit that QB this upcoming season. So there are some slight concerns, or I wouldn't say concerns. I have questions. I can see question marks with that defensive line, getting to that quarterback with Frank Clark, DJ Jones, Zach Allen, Nick Bonito entering year 2. But there's pop. There is pop there. And the Broncos, I know some people are worried about their depth in the trenches. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. When we take a look at the secondary, obviously you got a lockdown cornerback in Pat. But there's some intriguing guys back there. Caden Stearns, he had that 2-interception game. Fortunately, we barely saw him. Would he play 5 games this past season? Got injured. Had 2 interceptions in that game against Indy. He's backing up Kareem Jackson. Unk got Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons has had 5 interceptions at least in the last 4 seasons. The dude's the definition of a ball hawk. So defensively, with all the injuries that they had just in general, they finished 14th. I don't buy that. Giving up 21 points per game, even if Denver statistically was the same defense as they were last year, the eye test proved to me they're closer to top 10 than they are the 14th ranked defense. I think their defense is better. Like I said, I think they're a lot more efficient. The Tremont Jones loss at the time seemed like a big deal, but he had a sub 60 PFF grade the last 2 seasons. Zach Allen, as far as efficiency goes, wins above replacement, a lot better, a lot cheaper there. So I think Denver, they're a lot better than people think. Obviously, there are question marks like there are with other teams, but we have to keep in mind, Sean Payton, second half, historically a lot better. So don't overreact to the first couple weeks, first couple of months of the regular season. If Denver's 4-4 heading into the bye week, I would be extremely not surprised, but that works for me. Now, I think at the end of the day, the AFC is tough. The AFC West is difficult. I think the playoffs are going to come down to just taking care of Los Angeles. I'm not afraid of Kellen Moore. Dallas Cowboy fans were not very upset with the loss and the departure of Kellen Moore. So they can take care of Los Angeles at the end of the season when they're rolling. I'm feeling good. I'm going 10-7. Give me your official Denver Broncos prediction down below in the comment section. But as always, if you enjoyed it, hit that like button, hit that sub button. I appreciate you guys, Broncos fans. Seriously, crazy. I appreciate your guys' love so much. Give me a prediction down below. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. We'll see you next time.